BB.
On 40 Tango. I would like to see this load moving towards the boarding area now, please.
Each spring, parachutists from all over the world come to Florida to take part in Zephyhills Easter Boogie. It's an event which offers more than the promise of fine weather, blue skies, and a party atmosphere. It brings together enough experienced skydivers for ambitious aerial formations to be built, and for record-breaking attempts to be made on the numbers of people who can link together in the sky. Parachuting may have developed as a safe means of falling from an aeroplane or a quick way to deploy troops on the ground. But as hundreds of people are discovering each year, it's far more than this. Although it can be dangerous, basically it's fun and it's thrilling. And the fun increases if it's shared. From simple solo jumps, the ambition of most skydivers is to progress to relative work, group flying, when all sorts of intricate maneuvers are attempted in those few precious moments of free fall before they need to open their canopies.
No suitor. On Mitch Dakota's no suitor. Please meet 4 dirt dive now. 540 Tango.
While one wave of divers arrives back safely on firm ground, others are getting their chutes ready for the next jump. Their preparations are meticulous. Faulty packing could hinder a smooth opening and spell disaster. It takes 4 to 5 minutes to pack a chute correctly, and it's a very personal responsibility.
To me, this is just a practice dive for this weekend, okay? Now, the front of it, I've got it pretty much all set up, and it's probably not going to change, right? So anybody from there on could always change, could even possibly be watching it from the ground. It all depends on how you perform, okay? This is really not, this is a practice for everybody that can handle it. If you're having problems, this might be a dive that you just don't have the experience for. Okay, but right now you have an opportunity to be in a pretty good-sized round star that aren't made very much anymore. You're going to a quadrant, you're not going to a slot. So the quadrants are based on aircraft heading. If this thing did a 180 turn, don't worry about it. Go to your quadrant. If you start following one person in the base around, you're going to be skydiving around right in front of all these guys. They're going to be pushing you and funneling you out of the way. Set, go!
Before any formation can be built in the sky, it has to be rehearsed on the ground. These dirt dives ensure that everyone knows their exact positions when the jump is finally made.
You guys, you two, you're going to have a straight shot in, because by the time it gets, all these people are in, the quadrants are going to be so big, and you're the last divers, go straight in. 2 shakes, should all it take. Okay, now, if there's tension...
In the air, time is too short for a detailed practice like this. Nor is it easy to communicate other than by hand signals because of wind noise.
Okay, all you have to do, everybody, right now is take 1 step to the front. It relieves the tension, okay? So think of it. In every move that you make on this star, do it slowly. Don't be hurrying up. Start getting waves going through this.
A parachutist needs to have considerable experience before he can jump in a formation. Experience which normally takes many months to acquire. Here in Florida, accelerated free-fall courses condensed this training to a few rigorous hours. One of our cameramen, Peter McPherson, has decided to test this new method for himself. He has never jumped before and is now being briefed by his instructor, Jack Gregory.
Well, Peter, this is going to be a new experience for you. We've got about 6 hours of training ahead of us, and I'm going to teach you everything you're going to need to know to make this jump safely. You're going to have a lot of fun doing it. It's a unique experience flying your body. The next time we go out the door of a DC-3, there's going to be 2 of us holding on to you, and nothing between us and the ground except for 12,000 feet of Florida sunshine. So you ready to go do it?
Sure, let's go.
Okay.
Meanwhile, in the air, a group of divers practice for the big round. They cling outside the aircraft door so they can all let go together. No jumpsuits are worn, as they would be for most other formations. In large rounds, so much outward tension is created that the additional drag of a jumpsuit would simply pull hands apart. On a no-suiter, everyone falls faster, but at a more evenly matched speed. As the circle spins earthward, Peter's instruction continues below.
Okay, Peter, what we're going to do here is let you pull the main ripcord right here on the ground so you know what it feels like and that there's no surprises in the air, okay? Okay, so you remember the pull sequence I taught you?
Yes.
Okay, why don't you turn around here? Okay, hit your arch position. Okay, pull. Look, reach, pull. Okay, good. Now stay right there, we'll close this up and do it again. All right. This is a altimeter. It's an instrument we use to gauge our height off the ground. When you look at it, I want you to realize what altitude you are at the time, okay? It's very important. Altitude awareness is a very important part of skydiving.
An attempt to put 50 people into one big star fails before they can all link together. The circle zoos or breaks, and reforming is impossible. So each parachutist finds his own bit of sky in which to open his canopy.
Okay, Peter, modern parachute equipment is very safe and very reliable. However, if you were to have a malfunction of your main canopy, what you would do is throw away the main ripcord, look at this red reserve handle right here, come in with both hands and pull it down and out all the way. This will release you from your main parachute here and pull your reserve parachute. Okay?
Right.
So why don't we try that?
All right.
Okay.
It is essential for everyone to learn early on how to cope with a malfunction, for you never know when one might happen. This man has had to rely on his reserve chute to get down safely. This cutaway canopy is brought down by a friend who happened to be passing. Thoughtful, but not to be recommended. On full drive, a square can get up to a forward speed of 30 miles an hour, ramming air into its cells from in front, rather than just riding down on a cushion of air like a round parachute. This makes squares very maneuverable. It means they can actually be flown, backwards as well as forwards. Another advantage they have over round canopies is that they can be used with safety in a fairly stiff breeze. They can even be linked together in flight. Before coming into land, however, the parachute has to be made to flare, to kill off some of this forward speed.
Load 6 and 40 Tango is full. We are now manifesting for load number 7. I have 13 spaces left on load number 7 on 40 Tango.
While we're climbing to altitude in the aircraft, if we have an emergency, like the propellers quit going around or something, we'll be prepared for an emergency bailout if we're at a lower altitude. And if we're at a higher altitude, we can still launch out the door together and continue on with part of the dive, no problem, and still get a good canopy, good deployment, and still have a nice skydive.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your information, unfortunately, port engine on Mr. Douglas has broken. In the meantime, we are bringing in a Lodestar 117 Golf. It should be here in approximately 20 minutes. The manifest is now open for the Lodestar only.
An aircraft out of action is not the only thing to stop divers taking to the skies. A hurricane has been forecast, and all parachuting is out of the question. For a few hours, Zephyhills resembles a ghost town. But later that evening, the weather clears, and while most of the parachutists are enjoying the nightlife, a small group prepares for a dive. Equipped with powerful lights, they leap out into the darkness to form a 9-man star. Night flying is an eerie experience. In the dark, the senses of hearing and touch become far more acute, and the parachutist needs to be especially aware of the altitude, since he cannot see the ground rushing up to meet him. It's considerably more hazardous than daylight jumping.
Jeff, that's your suit there?
Watch your mouth,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I'll get that.
We are now manifesting for the early bird load in the morning. I do have 18 spaces open at this time. We would like to advise you that there is no alcohol allowed on the drop zone during jumping hours.
Peter McPherson's ground instruction is now almost complete, and he's ready to make his first jump.
As soon as you exit the aircraft, you're probably going to go through a sensation we call sensory overload. And that is the rush of stimuli to your brain. It's so overwhelming the first time out of an airplane. But within about 5 seconds, you'll relax and you'll start getting into the swing of things with us. You'll go through your circle of awareness and do your dummy ripcord pulls and skydive on down with us. And then we want you to really smile and enjoy it, okay?
Normally, students make their first few descents on a static line. This opens the parachute automatically soon after jumping out of the door. But Peter's accelerated course means that he can free fall several thousand feet before pulling his ripcord. Jack and a fellow instructor will keep firm hold of him until his parachute starts to open.
The 3 steps to the door were possibly the longest steps I've ever taken. But standing on the edge of the fuselage with 12,500 feet below me, I just wanted to go and jump. And then the procedure, up, down, arch, and I was away, and it was a great feeling.
Now that he's safely over his first jump, Peter's training continues.
Okay, Peter, how do you feel after that?
I'm just getting it together. It's an amazing experience. It's just falling into place now. You know, the shocks left me, and I'm just getting to enjoy it now.
You'll be feeling that all day. Let's talk about the jump itself. Okay. From the exit, okay, went out just a little rough there, but we had no problem flattening it out.
I didn't really sort of grasp totally what was going on then. The close-up area I was aware of. I wasn't too aware of the ground heading, and I lost that most of the way down until the canopy opened.
Your dummy ripcord pulls, you had good motion. You touched just above the ripcord, and I had to bring your hand in on the last one and actually physically put it on the ripcord for you.
Yeah, the look and the placing of the hand was too quick. You know, really it's look and see. But on the actual ripcord pull, I did that okay, I think.
Yeah, you did real good when it came time to pull. Well, you had that puppy out fast.
It was very smooth, didn't bring me up very suddenly. The most noticeable change in atmosphere was the lack of noise. Suddenly everything slows down, and then you can get back into the right gear. I was surprised at how hard I did land, because there's no wind. There wasn't really much forward motion in it.
Kind of a weak PLF there, but not bad.
I had my legs together, but they were sticking out in front slightly and probably a bit too bent. Next time I'll concentrate on keeping my legs straight down below me with my feet below my center of gravity.
Do you realize what you just said there? You said next time. So I'm going to go pack up our parachutes and we're going to go for it, okay?
Okay.
Because his first 7 jumps have been successful, it's arranged for Peter to be part of a 15-man star with a group of experienced skydivers. The formation splits, and a kiss for Peter catches him by surprise.
Ladies and gentlemen, spectators and jumpers, for your information, world record 72-way with Bartholdi, Noble, Graham, Friedman, Sammons, Parsons, DeYager, Hahn, Bolton, Chernev, Kaufman, Hameister.
Now comes the moment everyone has been waiting for, the climax of the whole Easter Boogie. 72 people are going to try and build the largest formation ever seen. It will take 3 aircraft to get them all into the air, and the divers will need to jump from 16,500 feet to allow enough time to get into position. The 2 DC-3s take off first, leaving the Lodestar to follow 5 minutes later. Because of its faster rate of climb, it will have caught up by the time the first 2 planes are in position over the drop zone. First out of the door are the floaters, who cling precariously as their colleagues join them. They have only 100 seconds to link up, so they must get as many people as possible together before the jump. The 2 DC-3s, 40 Tango and Mr. Douglas, drop their load simultaneously, and the formation starts to build. But the Lodestar has had trouble starting and trailed behind. Its jumpers, flying in now, have had to make up half a mile to reach the others. The delay could be critical. A ripple runs right through the formation, causing it to funnel. Although not as big as everyone had hoped, this was still one of the largest formations ever accomplished.